The other video was last received on Amouage collection and which one you should buy first. So I figured I have a good amount of Parfums de Marly. Why don't I tell you which one of those you should buy first? Let's roll my motherfucking music so I can put you onto the starting 5 you should purchase by the house of Parfums de Marly. Blessed morning, my beautiful peoples. You know who it is. It's your boy, C to the U to the B to the A. The house of Parfums de Marly, definitely one of my favorite houses. I have a great relationship with the house because the fuckers know how to do a good ass fragrance. They hit the mass appeal market with a zing, available in a lot of major department stores, and they really know how to put a little hitch in their giddy up when it comes to that sexy fragrance vibe. But they have a lot of fragrances in their catalog, and they are not cheap. Even on the gray market, they're in the spaces. I think the bare minimum I've seen on the smaller presentations is like $190 some odd dollars. Now granted, I say shop around on eBay, make sure you're getting an authentic bottle. You can go to websites like Check Fresh and confirm the batch codes and serials to be sure this shit is official tissue. You can go to Facebook forum groups or Instagram groups or whatever groups you guys participate in. Swap, trade, buy, whatever. But personally, I have about somewhere like 10 or 12 Parfums de Marly fragrances, and you absolutely do not need 10 to 12 fragrances of any particular brand. However, I'm gonna put you onto the 5 that I would personally select if you're gonna dip your toe into the Parfums de Marly space, which one I would recommend you to get. The first one would be, it may or may not surprise people. This is an amazing fragrance that once I first smelled it, it was love at first sniff. It was an experience when I smelled it. I like when a fragrance gives me that amazing reaction that, wow, what is this? What was the perfumer thinking about? Where did he even get this kind of inspiration? Because Parfums de Marly Carlisle is one you absolutely should have in your collection if you're going the Parfums de Marly space. Notes on this fragrance are nutmeg, tonka bean, I think vanilla, and green apple. Now, what does that mean? Nothing. It doesn't mean dick. Notes don't mean shit, especially if you're getting into the fragrance space. You're not gonna know what any of these notes mean unless you're a trained chef and you deal with nutmeg and cardamom and tonka and vanilla on a consistent basis. You don't give a fuck. Yo, Coobs, does this shit smell dope? This smells fire. So if you're gonna get into the niche space and the house of Parfums de Marly is that option, Carlisle is one of the 5 that you absolutely need to get. Next one. Another one I would recommend is a newer acquisition in the space, and that's Haltane. Haltane is nuts. It's a oud for greatness kind of homages type fragrance with a bit of a twist. It has a little bit of its own personality, but you can't help compare those two fragrances. Now for me, this fragrance kind of caters a little bit more to spring nights, fall, and cold weather. It's a beautiful, oudy, sexy fragrance that doesn't smell like your traditional rose oud combination. It has a sex appeal factor to it and great performance. It's a beautiful scent profile that won't be denied by anyone. And trust me, if you're dipping your toe in the Parfums de Marly space and want something a little bit bolder with an oudier presence, then Haltane is one you have to get in your checklist of those 5 fragrances. It's a stellar piece. I'm gonna keep it all the way 1,000. I haven't worn it more than 4 times tops. Each time I've worn it, I've really loved and been impressed by the performance factor and the beautiful scent profile. I've only gotten internal compliments. It hasn't been anything external, but it's a gorgeous, gorgeous scent profile that I definitely would recommend you to get if you're getting 5 starter Parfums de Marly fragrances. Next one. The next fragrance is the beast of all beasts, Layton. Not the exclusive version, just the traditional Layton. For me, I feel that this one is more versatile, more sexy, and I think it just performed a lot better off of my skin. Granted, the exclusive version is a powerhouse, but it's a little bit oudier and punchier, which a lot of people seem to love. But for me personally, it just didn't hit the mark that I'm looking for. This one checks all the boxes that Carlisle does, just with a little bit of a fresher component in my opinion. Very sexy, super mass appealing, date night, versatile, able to be worn at work. It has depth, it has freshness, it has spiciness, it has spices, and just an incredible fragrance that there's 5,000 videos on. So you don't have to trust me, you can watch the rest of the putzes. Next one. The next one is another mass appeal beast, just like the other ones, and that's Harrod. Harrod is incredible. Still with that same description, if we're keeping it as minimalistic and as basic and as rudimentary as possible, sexy, dark, mass appealing, absolutely gorgeous. Actually, the first fragrance from Parfums de Marly that I bought this one off of eBay. It was a tester bottle. It came just like this. This bottle is very low, and I will be getting another one once this one is completely done. Stellar tobacco and vanillic fragrance, and truth be told, the biggest hater in the world in my life is my wife, and this was one that she actually appreciated. So if she likes it, there's no way your significant other isn't gonna like this. So Parfums de Marly Harrod is absolutely one you need on your list. Last and certainly not least, this one was a very hard decision because there's some beautiful fragrances in that lineup, and most of these are dark, and I wanted to put a fresher fragrance in here. However, in going through the fragrances, I was like, there's no way that I wouldn't recommend Pegasus Exclusive as one of the fragrances. Like the nuttiness in this fragrance and that breath of fresh air that this fragrance just brings, this inviting nature, is one you have to get. The performance factor in this is a little crazy off of my skin, but it's a gorgeous scent profile that you just can't deny. To be honest with you, it was between this one and Nisium, which is one that they rarely talk about. And Nisium is incredible as well. And honestly, like now thinking about it, it's gonna be between these two, and I can't really select which one. At times, I feel Pegasus Exclusive is just gonna lean a little bit forward because it has that beautiful almondy spiciness. But then Nisium is just this beautiful Middle Eastern, dark, robust fragrance that has so much personality. And I'm kind of conflicted between those two. So this one might be the trickiest one out of all of them, but then those first four were solid entry places into Parfums de Marly. But if I was gonna tell you to get one and you only had the budget for one, believe it or not, I'm gonna say start with Carlisle. Carlisle is incredible. I love it. It does everything it's supposed to do and more. And this is what I feel would be a perfect entry point to the house of Parfums de Marly. I love y'all motherfuckers from the heart, and I'll see y'all bitches next time. Let me know which house you're curious about next, and don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Smooches.
What's fresh? Who's best? One of them's gonna pass the test. For the fly gun holder, money folder, molar roller, star tag when it's time to call back. For the rough, rugged, and raw way, this nigga Jay, it's a game, but he don't play. Hey, for all the chicks that got dead in the penthouse suite on top of my mom's crib. It's nonsense you never get in. It's nonsense that you would think that you would.